Hello and welcome everyone to this online session at the 62nd Nordic Film Days Lübeck. We cannot meet in Lübeck right now, but at least we can meet online. And I'm very happy that I can introduce the Finnish film Soira Peli, Games People Play, to you. It's a film by the Finnish director Jenni Toivoniemi, and Jenni has made a short film which is called The Date, that was awarded both at Sundance Film Festival and at the Berlinale. And she already presented two films at the Nordic Film Days Lübeck, which were her short film Boyfriend, that was in 2014, and her documentary Once I Was a Dragonfly, that was in 2017. And now she is presenting her first feature film, Soira Peli, Games People Play, and this is actually a German premiere. And I'm very happy that Jenni is here. Hello, Jenni, welcome.
Hello, great to be here. Sorry that I can't be there. Just a little correction. I think a film I co-wrote called Korsovas in Lübeck. But once I was Dragonfly is not my film. It's Elli Toivoniemi's film. But we are same family and same company, so not to worry. I'm happy to take a little bit of credit.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
We can cut that part out.
Yeah, it's fine.
So Jenni, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your film Soira Peli before people are going to watch it or stream it online.
Well, I'm always terrified to say anything about the film because if I say something irritating, you may not like the film, and I of course would very much want you to enjoy it. This was a very fun film to make, not the financing or waiting or any of that, but the actual shootings were best time. And I hope and I think some of that feeling at the shooting also is in the film. It wasn't just fun for us. I think you can actually also feel a little bit of how it is to be on that weekend, on that drunken weekend on the island. And I hope this it's been funny to present this film because some people laugh a lot and think it's hilarious comedy, and some people think it's not a comedy at all, that it's so dark. And I give you freedom to feel however you want. You can cry or laugh or be indifferent. It's hopefully not indifferent, but don't be pressured to laugh if you want to cry. That's my I wanted to make a film that would be a little bit like having a good conversation with an old friend, somebody who kind of listens to your bullshit and sees you how you are and likes you anyway.
Of course, I would like to know, how did you get the idea for your film?
Well, I think always making a feature film, it's many ideas, many little streams that come together. But I think one of the kind of inciting incidents for me was quite a few years ago, because it took quite many years to make this film. But when I was about 34 or something, quite a few of my friends got divorced at the same time, and we're kind of in this new phase of partying for a while. And I have a group of friends, we've known each other forever. and suddenly I found myself in these parties where it was the same people and the same games, but we were just old or older. and it was and many of them even kind of ended up having something like some relations with the people they had a crush on when we were young. And I thought all of this was very endearing and embarrassing and funny. So that was certainly something I thought I'd like to kind of research, or what's going on here, and what is the nostalgia, and is it good for us or bad for us, and when does it become regression, and is that always a bad thing, and these were kind of things I wanted to explore with.
Okay, thank you. And well, would you say that your film is maybe typically Finnish, or maybe rather typically unfinished?
It's interesting, while we were financing this film, I got a lot of this, that it's not Finnish film, that it's like a French film or something like it. They talk so much, Finns don't talk, and all these cliches about Finns and Finnish films. And now that it finished, it got a lot of this like, well, it's like a Danish film or something. I think it's also like, it's a good thing it's not like a Finnish film idea that the small countries have. But yeah, I think I definitely use the, like, it comes from here, and I'm a Finnish filmmaker, but I think it is in like my kind of the filmmakers I've grown with and I watch closely are not really Finnish, so I think it is a combination of these things. Hopefully an international Finnish film that can kind of spread the word of Finnish weirdness to other places.
Yeah, well, I'd say it is. So great. And I think that you have a lovely location for your film. So where did you do the shooting?
It's actually, it is an island. It's in front of Helsinki, so it was not far away, but we had to take a boat every morning to the location. So it was a lovely kind of meditation thing to be there for the boat every morning. But of course, it was logistically idiotic. But I was happy to shoot it there.
Okay. Well, I personally was very surprised to see Christian Hillborg in your film, and him being the one Swede in lots of Finnish people, and also the dynamics that are there. Maybe you can tell us how he got into the film and why it's so funny to have a Swede in between lots of Finns.
Well, I wanted to have someone who would be kind of the most that these guys would be most intimidated by, and I think a kind of a very civilized, perfect English speaking Swede would be perfect. That this is kind of like a superhuman type of person who that also kind of, because Finns have this underdog history and still attitude towards Sweden. So we it's like, for us there is this little brother struggle with the Swedes who just kindly don't really care at all about our struggle with them. So I thought it would be funny to play a little bit of that. And when it's always when an outsider comes to a group, and when you're forced to speak another language, and how you manage with the newcomer in general, but then kind of make him like a superhuman, and still they bring him down was a fun experiment for me. And so I wanted to have somebody who would be like a super Swede, also like this godly figure. so that's why Viking and super Swede Christian Hillborg was a good choice. And he was an absolute pleasure to work with. So.
Yeah, I really like him in that role, but I think your cast in general is great. And I mean, you also wrote the script for the film, but all the talks, all the dialogues, they seem to be so natural. So how did you get to that while filming?
Well, I was writing this script for quite a few years, and we had like already from the first. Sorry, my cat is being an ass. Hello. So yeah, from the first draft on, I had like several readings of it. With like some of the cast had to be changed because of the scheduling and so on, but many of them were involved from like years before. So we read the script together and talked about it, and we had a couple of workshops where we kind of played and did a demo and played with the scenes. Like some of the scenes were, many of the scenes were already in the first draft, but then I tend to kind of, because I think a lot of the directing is in the writing, so I write quite everything very strictly, but then I let it loose in the shootings. That like some things are very important that they're set exactly how I want them, but then I give them freedom freedom to do some improvisation. But there isn't very much impro in the film, maybe 5 or 10% or something.
Okay, so how about the title Soirapeli? The English title is Games People Play. Would that be more or less a good translation, or what does Soirapeli mean, and why did you choose this for the title of your film?
Seurapeli is a kind of old-fashioned word that means all kind of games people play, like cards or whatever people do in a group. So it's like there's not really an English translation for that. So that's why we changed the English title a bit, but it's in relation to that, yes. And it's a word that I actually I always thought it would be a good title for a film, because it's such a, it doesn't give you too much, but it has the, because of the old-fashionedness, it has a bit of a humoristic clang in it. So yeah.
Okay, talking of old-fashionedness, you have lots of scenes with music, and the music is like classic music, a bit baroque maybe. Was that something that you absolutely wanted to have in the film?
Yeah, it's all of it is baroque that we chose with the music supervisor Jan Forsström. I have a kind of complex relationship with music in the film. I don't like when the music is too much like telling you how to feel. Violins when you're crying, I get like, oh, don't tell me how to feel. so and when I was doing the first feature, I knew that well, we will have to have music. Also, of course, there is music in the film that they play and so on, but that I need music, and then we kind of, because Jan is he's done this before, and I think he's very good in using music in a way that it's not sentimental. So then we approach it that he kind of he played me different types of music, like what we would use in it, and when he kind of bravely put baroque in the mix, and I was like, well, this makes me laugh. This is fun for me, and then we started from there, and I really like because it kind of gives the fun that, like, for me it is these kind of social constructions how we do, and baroque of course was all about social constructions, how we dance these dances, how we do these things that we are kind of forced to do. And that's why having that music in the summer villa setting is, I think, plays well in the humor of the film.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I read, and you already told us, that you have some experiences with those friendships that lasted for lots of years and tight friendship groups. So when it comes to your film and the characters, which character comes closest to Jenni? Would you more be the Mitzi kind of person, or Veronica, or someone else?
Well, the secret for that you learn when you start actually making films and writing is that everybody are you. You kind of you put your most embarrassing parts of yourself in the, but you divide them. So because you could not handle yourself in it. So I'm really that it's not autobiographical in a sense that there's no scandals in my circles. Nobody is that I know of is like hurt or anything. It's nobody is so close. I'm stolen everything from everybody, but it's not like I am somebody and somebody is somebody. But I said in some interview that like the self-hatred version of it is that I'm Johanna, the writer. But I've been told I'm more like Herde than him, so I don't know.
Okay, great.
But the fun and kind of sad thing was that when we were doing the costume fittings and the costume designer Joni, who was great, like very many of the clothes he brought for Ulla were exactly like my clothes, and I was like, fuck. I'm the nerdy one. or the kind of uptight one.
That's funny. Well, I guess these were all my questions. Do you have anything more that you do want to talk about?
I wish there was questions from the audience. It's always fun when it comes naturally. I could talk forever about these these actors and about the film, but it's difficult to do without questions.
Yeah, I missed them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.